Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another video. This is a video that I've been meaning to make actually for quite a long time, because occasionally in the comments section I'll get a comment that is along the lines of, why are you on a witch hunt? You know, and why are you trying to expose this particular artist, this particular band? And I think people who have watched my channel for any length of time will know that I'm just covering requested videos, requested performances, and I'm just pointing out what's going on. And it's totally objective, and I'm never trying to expose anyone. And it's never a witch hunt for one particular artist, because again, I cover all kinds of bands and artists on the channel. Whatever has been requested to take a look at for that particular evening's analysis video, that's what I will do. And the people that think I'm on a witch hunt obviously haven't seen the amount of artists that I've covered. If it were a witch hunt, it means that I would just be focusing on one person all the time. And in the past, I have made videos where I'm saying this is the last video I'm doing on this topic because I've got other requests to get through. And that's the problem, that people, when they get in touch and say, oh, the reason that you've focused on that performance was because that one wasn't live, so do this performance. So then I've done the performance they've requested, and then that's turned out to be the same as the first video, and then other people say, oh no, you should have done that one, you should have done this one. So it gets to a point where I say, look, I'm not spending any more time on this. Once you get to the third or fourth video and it's all the same, and the objective data is showing the same thing over and over again, then I'm going to move on. So for the people that say that I'm exposing a particular artist or band, I'm not saying that the artist or band are finishing their performance and quickly running off with their lead vocals, getting it from the desk, putting it on an external USB disc, running over to their digital audio workstation on their Mac or, you know, their PC and editing their vocals before maybe the next night of the tour. I did Gary Newman recently, looking at one of his performances live. And I'm not saying that he's running off backstage before then the next date on the tour to pitch correct the vocal or do anything like that. Now, obviously, you can put any artist name in that particular sentence or example that I've given. So I'm not saying that the artists are doing it to themselves. Unfortunately, it is an industry standard now, which means it is going to be applied all the time. And I think actually that the unsigned community and the independent community, because they know they're going to get compared with those artists in the mainstream industry, it's now something that's being applied by even unsigned artists. And I mean, that's a different thing. And interestingly, I was chatting with Chris Lipe about this the other day, and I'll release a video where we're talking about that. And interestingly as well, Chris got similar kinds of messages with a video that he did recently, saying about maybe highlighting an artist when they weren't at their best, or exposing them for, you know, using backing tracks and all this kind of stuff. And it's just not the case. So yeah, look out for that video, and yeah, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that, because it's an interesting chat to get the vocal coach view of things and with what Chris does on his channel. And even he gets accused of such things when he's just pointing out what's going on. Getting back to this thought and idea of exposing an artist. Now, whenever you refer to somebody being exposed, it's when they are the minority. So back in the day, you had Milli Vanilli, who were exposed for not singing on their songs. And it was other people's voices on there. And that's why they were exposed, because they were doing something that everyone else wasn't doing. And they were the minority. And that's what happens with anyone being exposed about anything. They are the minority. Using that word to describe any of my videos, I will say, well, it's absolutely not that. Because if it were that, it wouldn't be happening all the time. I wouldn't be pointing out something about every artist in my analysis video who's using pitch correction or auto-tune or lip syncing they are not the minority. In fact, I say on my channel, it's an industry standard. So what I'm pointing out is the standard. So it's not exposing anyone because it's so prevalent in the industry. Now, the reason that it's seen as that is because the people who are fans of the artist and artists that I am highlighting, featuring on the channel and analysing, they have a subjective reaction to the video that is negative and they don't like what they're finding out. But it doesn't change the objective data. So they've found out something they don't like. Their subjective reaction is to have a go at me saying, how dare you try and expose this person? And I can say, oh, don't worry. It's not just your artist. There are loads of them that I've done on the channel who are doing the same thing. So you don't need to have that subjective reaction to it because it's not an expose of that artist. And again, on my channel, I'm not saying that, right, pitch correction is wrong, auto-tune is wrong, and lip syncing is wrong. As an artist, I don't do those things myself, but also as an artist, I have to appreciate, and I can appreciate, that artists can do what they want. That's why it's called art. So if they want to pitch correct their vocals, that's fine. If they want to auto-tune their vocals, that's fine. And some artists are very open about using auto-tune live and in the studio. If people want to lip sync, that is up to them. The problem occurs when fans of that particular band or artist think it's something else and the artist isn't telling them what is happening. So then when I point it out and can show objectively that it's happening, don't shoot the messenger. It's not me that has made this happen. It has already happened and I'm pointing it out. And the reason you don't know is because the artist hasn't told you. And that's now a situation for the fans and the artist and that relationship. And like I've said, a lot of artists are open about auto-tune. So when I point out about that on my channel, there's no outrage from fans because they already know it. I have said in the past that if I'm going to be doing a video on your particular artist that you might be a fan of and you don't want to find out what is actually happening, then don't watch the video. And there are other performances and bands and artists who are still genuinely singing and performing live, and some fans of those bands will enjoy watching the video and they'll say, well, yeah, I know that they do it all live because they're totally open about it and I've been to watch them live, I've seen them live, and they've been singing live the whole time, and I know that that's what they do. So, and I know that their videos aren't post-edited, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, when I look into those kinds of bands and artists, then, yeah, it's exactly the same. I'm going to point out what's going on, regardless of which side of the fence it falls, whether you think it's a witch hunt or exposing somebody, or whether it's somebody actually performing live and we're just hearing what they're doing. It doesn't matter which of those it is. The objective results and the analysis will tell you which one of those it is, and that's all it is. It's just information. It's objective data at the end of the day. As a teacher or a coach or somebody who's trying to inform people of what's happening and being objective and telling the truth about what's happening, I think it is your duty to be honest. And then if people call you different names because you're being honest, then there's nothing you can do about that. There's a quote in the back of my mind that I don't know what it is, but I'm sure people know it. The gist of it is something like it's better to be hated for telling the truth than to be loved for being dishonest or lying, that kind of thing. So that's very much how I feel about it, that I'm just going to point out what's going on. And I'm just going to be honest about what I'm looking at and be totally transparent and display the objective data. And it literally is what it is. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Keep those suggestions and requests coming in the comment section below for future analysis videos. Have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it may be where you are. And I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!